Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2019 American horror thriller film called Stay Out, Stay Alive. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins with a narration saying that the government tries to clear the Yosemite of Native American tribes during the gold rush. Then, after the government troops have murdered his son, the chief, Tenaya, has left no choice but to issue the curse. Tenaya then left remarkable words upon cursing the redwood forest, telling the people that they may kill him, but he will always be within the rocks, the rivers, and the winds. After that, he will call his people to avenge the death of their chief and his son. Later, the redwood forest's animals start creating noise, such as birds singing, and insects begin squawking, allowing the forest to eventually rumbles in an otherworldly voice. Because of that, even the birds join the insects to squawk as they fly chaotically. Afterward, the wind suddenly flows its direction into a hole as the otherworldly voice continuously screams like it's begging for help to escape. On the other hand, Bridget asks Reese if he has already received the emails she sent to him. Luckily, Reese answers yes, and tells her the content: the following two animals, covered in honey, leave food out all around the town. So, Kyle interrupts, asking if anyone knows about service around the area because he's running out of battery. However, Amy tells him that there's no service at their location, and there's not supposed to be served so that they can bond and get to know each other without interruption, such as using phones or tablets. But then, Kyle reasons out, saying that they're going to die if they don't use phones while hiking on the mountain. There will probably be bad things when gadgets don't work in a place without any service to be found. Suddenly, Reese talks, showing irritation by asking Bridget if they are already in their destined location because he can't stay in the car any longer with Kyle. So, to ease the heightened tension, Amy tries blurting out to Kyle, reminding him that he told her that it was acceptable not to use any gadgets a couple of days ago. Afterward, Reese talks again, asking Kyle about the people who survived before despite not having internet, which is the activities that the youth usually do at the party. Fortunately, the girls agree with Reese while Donna eventually speaks to remind them that they need the permits at the ranger station. Meanwhile, the 5 young hikers arrive at the ranger station to get some permits. Afterward, they listen to calm acoustic guitar music while Kyle, on the other hand, suddenly gets mesmerized upon watching the documentary about the Native American tribes. Then, suddenly Bridget shocks him, allowing him to get unfocused on watching the story of Chief Tenaya and his tribes. On the other hand, Amy and Donna walk inside the store and call for the seller when suddenly Donna sees dry blood that pours down outside the refrigerator. So, Amy convinces her that it might be animal blood. However, Ranger Susanna finally appears and asks them about their needs. So, Donna says that they need 5 camping permits for the Golden Summit camp. Eventually, Ranger Susanna warns them that it's a very sacred place, so Amy interrupts and says that the guidebook told them there are old mines nearby. Afterward, Ranger Susanna answers, debunking Amy's idea by telling her that the miners tore up the hills and the rivers because they have no respect for Mother Earth. Technically, the park's mines are closed during the current season, so it might be deadly for them to look for the mines without any guide. Therefore, they should stay out and stay alive. Afterward, Ranger Susanna finally gives them the permits as Donna and Amy eventually feel weird toward her. Bridget then appears and grabs both of their arms to take them outside when suddenly Ranger Susanna offers to guide them, but Bridget refuses to accept her offer. Later, the 5 young hikers continuously drive to the Golden Summit camp when suddenly Donna informs them to change the plan so that Ranger Susanna won't follow them. Bridget then agrees, telling them that she might play and kill them once she leads them to the mines. Leaving them no choice, Amy suggests the place on the Big Rock. Later at night, the 5 young hikers set up their tents at the Big Rock and begin telling stories as they sit around the campfire. Suddenly, Reese tells them that the police have found dead bodies of hikers that were tortured and then skinned alive, probably thinking that it was Ranger Susanna who did it. However, Donna interrupts their talk when she tells the group that she's going for a walk towards Vista Point alone. Amy attempts to come with her, but Donna interrupts, saying that she'll be fine because she has a flashlight and one of Kyle's radios. Technically, Donna doesn't want to feel like being a fifth wheel, so she better hang out with only herself. Afterward, Amy topics about the US cavalry committing suicide after clearing the land for the gold rush. Technically, many people died at the Big Rock for attempting to get the land of the Sacred Valley owned by the Auni tribe. She even says that other tribes fear coming into the valley for believing that the tribe is full of witchcraft. Because of that, Kyle suddenly gets scared, pleading to go home as he can't spend his night sleeping at the Big Rock. However, Reese only mocks him. Meanwhile, Donna eventually walks herself inside the redwood forest, allowing her to hear some crumbling footsteps and buzzing flies. Because of that, Donna stops walking, and observes to guess where's the eerie noise coming from. She then tells herself that going to Vista Point isn't a good idea, so she plans on going back to the big rock when suddenly a roar occurs, a signal of an earthquake inside the forest. Unfortunately, Donna plummets down a mine shaft while screaming and running away from the redwood forest, making her pinned under a rock. The following day, Amy and Kyle begin their hiking activity to find the mines 2 miles south. However, Kyle seems uncomfortable going with Amy, so she suggests taking Donna with them when suddenly they find out that Donna is missing. Amy then informs Bridget about it, but Bridget shows no care about Donna. Leaving them no choice, Amy and Kyle proceed on walking on the way to the location as they talk about how bad they feel about themselves for the hard welcome they gave to Donna last night. However, they suddenly stop walking inside the redwood forest after hearing eerie noise, but then, Amy only gets shocked when Bridget radios to them about Donna's information. So, Kyle answers while Reese notifies them to continue finding as they are only behind them. However, Kyle eventually plummets down on the mine shaft as the ground shakes again, but luckily, he saves himself from falling to the bottom. Fortunately, Reese immediately saves him, and calls Donna after hearing screams at the hole. So, Reese volunteers himself to find Donna without getting any help from Ranger Susanna that may help them to escape from the petrifying forest. Luckily, Reese finds that it's Donna getting trapped below after his flashlight falls on the ground. Donna then shouts, saying that she can't get out due to her foot getting stuck under a big rock. Reese then informs the group to get down to save Donna, but Amy stops Kyle from going because she thinks that the mine's not safe due to toxic gases. However, Kyle refuses to take Amy's warning, and decides to help Reese on getting out Donna in the hole. Seconds later, Kyle gets inside when suddenly he finds out that they can't take out Donna, allowing Amy to call Ranger Susanna to seek help. But Kyle refuses to allow Amy to go all by herself, yet the panicking Amy decides to go so that they can already get Donna out of the hole. On the other hand, Reese walks himself to explore when suddenly he finds tons of gold after destroying the wood planks that cover it. Because of that, they plan on taking it out together with Amy, but Bridget, who also gets down on the hole, tells them that Amy has already called the ranger for help. Frustrated, Kyle and Reese get out of the hole to go after Amy, leaving Donna and Bridget inside, while radioing Amy to stop her. Meanwhile, Amy suddenly gets followed by the crows, allowing her to stumble upon a tree branch and pass out. Then, minutes later, Amy finds herself getting lost amid the forest while Bridget radios the boys to know what's happening outside. However, Bridget receives no answers from the radio and eventually discovers Donna's pregnancy after knowing that she also needs the gold for money. Afterward, Donna orders Bridget to take a picture of the area of gold when suddenly Bridget finds a bag on the ground. So, Bridget immediately gets it and opens it together with Donna. On the other hand, Amy decides to drive their car to escape when suddenly Kyle appears, and stops her from driving. Later, the group begins collecting the gold inside the hole while Amy suggests improvising their activity because they are doing something illegal. Unfortunately, Amy does not agree with the group to take out the gold, so Bridget convinces her of the benefits they will get once they own it. Afterward, the group decides to set up their tents outside the hole while carrying out all the gold. Then, later at night, they decide on taking out Donna's foot under the big rock when suddenly they fail and injure Donna even more. On the other hand, Ranger Susanna begins finding the group to warn them. Meanwhile, Reese pushes Kyle to shock him. Then, he tells Kyle to take care of Amy because she's still unable to control her emotions to agree with them. On the other hand, Donna suddenly sees a man's shadow trying to attack her when Bridget and Amy suddenly go and check Donna what's happening. Amy then suggests getting the rangers already, but Donna refuses, and says she can still hold the pain until tomorrow. Then, Bridget, on the other hand, informs the two about an ancient book, allowing Amy to get interested in it as she thinks that it may help her with her thesis paper. The following day, Reese continues digging the gold when a pickaxe suddenly falls onto his head. Afterward, Reese accidentally finds out a piece of olden teeth, making him take a tooth, and put it into his pocket. Then, another morning comes, and the group, excluding Donna, gathers outside to talk about what they will do once they get all the gold. However, Reese suddenly paces out, thinking of what happened to him while digging the gold mine yesterday. Later, Donna starts reading the diary, only to learn about the story of local Indians as guides and miners who died of cholera. On the other hand, Kyle finds out that the gold's missing after rinsing it in the water, getting Reese mad at him. Then, Amy eventually sees Donna's swollen foot, yet Bridget defends that it's only morning sickness because she's pregnant. Afterward, Donna warns Amy not to talk about his pregnancy to the boys while saying she can still wait for another morning until they call for Ranger Susanna. So, Bridget informs the boys that they're going tomorrow morning, but Reese disagrees, and offers to do it by himself to take Donna's foot under the big rock. Yet, Bridget is eager to leave, saying they already get plenty of gold. Because of that, Reese chooses to be left alone to finish their activity. Meanwhile, Amy starts to get scared and uncomfortable after Donna predicts that the one who wrote the diary gets ambushed after stealing the money. Yet, Donna pleads and says that she needs the money, so she better wait until morning. Afterward, Amy continuously rinses the gold when suddenly she hears a scream from a man. Because of that, Kyle approaches her, only to find out something creepy inside the gold mine. Amy then walks out, so Kyle goes after her, leaving the sleeping Donna inside. Suddenly, they finally meet Ranger Susanna while walking in the forest, allowing them to know about the incoming storm, so they need to move out because Ranger Susanna will close the park. Ranger Susanna then clarifies that they only ask for permission in Golden Summit, and not in the Redwood Forest, so she proceeds on walking toward the ravine. Eventually, Ranger Susanna allows them to stay until morning because of Donna. However, Reese and Bridget ask Kyle why he's not digging without them knowing that Ranger Susanna is only behind them. Because of that, Ranger Susanna finds out the real reason they still want to stay, then afterward, she says that she had a dream of Donna, who needs help because she's badly injured. Seconds later, Donna screams for help, so Ranger Susanna immediately runs when suddenly she plummets down the mine shaft. Unfortunately, the group suddenly picks fights with each other as they think of ways how they will take care of Ranger Susanna's body. Then, Kyle, on the other hand, reveals that Amy needs to get out because she sees things inside the mine shaft, but Reese refuses to believe him. Suddenly, Donna asks where's the body of Ranger Susanna, whom they thought died, but still alive. Afterward, Ranger Susanna gets out of the hole, then tells Amy that they shouldn't have touched the gold mine because it's sacred, and belongs to the earth. Technically, Ranger Susanna runs after discovering that it will not be safe for her to stay in the forest anymore. Afterward, Amy finds Ranger Susanna in the forest, only to find out that she will get killed by Ranger Susanna. So, Amy tries to get the gun on her when she accidentally shoots her. At the same time, Reese is still eager to continue digging and carrying out the gold before they leave in the morning. However, Kyle refuses to accept Reese's plan, and tells him that he's going to the police for rescue, and will report what's happening in the forest. So, Reese immediately points out a gun at him to threaten her, while Amy, on the other hand, refuses to get up despite the storm that's falling already. Afterward, Kyle and Reese get back to the mine shaft while Donna takes care of Kyle as Reese will get Bridget to help them finish digging the golds. The movie ends with the group quickly finishing their activity to get out in the mine shaft with gold while Amy warns Donna that they will get drowned inside due to the storm before leaving them to find their car. Because of that, Donna informs the group that the mine is flooding. They find so much gold in there because the miners never left. Donna then tries to get out of the mine shaft by reading the diary that what happened before is also happening to them. But Reese is already greedy to take all the golds, refusing to listen to Donna and kills Kyle, who's reporting to the police. Fortunately, Donna gets out of the mine shaft by cutting her foot and killing Reese using the pickaxe, yet she still dies after getting buried by the landslides. Because of that, only Amy and Bridget survive the tragic curse. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.